Okay, welcome to another episode of Houses Are Our Lives, being filmed on set. This is going to be the last film for a while. Rebecca's here so she can give me her best sarcastic input. The fence is along the property line. She had to follow the law, found out that I was not lying, and that she could not read a map. And they adjusted the fence properly. So I have no complaint. Well, except for one very serious complaint. Every time she has ever had people come do her line, you showing the line?
Yep.
You're being Vanna White? Do it like Vanna White. Don't forget to wiggle your hips like you're in a slinky dress. I didn't get that on camera, damn. But she slapped her butt, guys. She has always had her lawn guys trespass on my property, which I never minded, except that rose bushes getting mowed over, this area getting harmed. And now, in order to care for that corner, she is absolutely going to have people trespass on my property to do it because of how she did the fence.
No
She has cut off her own access. She could have put a gap there or a gate or something. So now, in order to respond, because I am tired of my things getting mowed down and my area getting chewed up and people going, you've got an ugly yard, when it's some of it is her fault, I'm going to have to put a little decorative fence here to mark the area. And it's going to look funny and weird. And I am protecting my investment. These butterfly bushes were not cheap. This mimosa tree was free at least. Butterfly bushes ain't cheap. And the year that I planted that little one, they were hard to find. They were really hard to find. I had to order specials. So, no, I'm going to protect my stuff. You know, it's just all there is to it. You're noticing something about the fence that's a little disturbing. This is the first time I'm looking at the fence since I came back from Arizona. So I'm noticing that. That is not us. We did not do that. I do not know why it's like that. I also don't care. I just don't want to get blamed. But yeah, she's got things on the end. Currently they're on her side. That's great. The minute they end up on my side, they are legally mine and they will disappear. These are going to come back with me to Florida. We're going to clean this part up. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine at the moment. It looks shitty. See, these were originally actually on my property because she's still kind of subconsciously trying to claim my yard. So Rebecca gently nudged them back over to where they belong, rather than us taking them like we could have done. We put up a new mailbox today. I've been wanting to do this for years. And I have to tell you guys, the kit that I bought was the most overcomplicated, stupid kit you could ever have seen in mailboxes. The pole is not steady. That glue is because it's not steady, and I was trying to compensate. It is the worst kit. I am not pleased. I'm going to have to replace that sooner than I feel like I should. I am not happy. Mail people, they are rough to mailboxes. They slam them, they jiggle them. This thing won't hold a whole year. I'm not very happy. But at least it looks better than the other one, which was like rotting and falling over. So there's that. Today we will be cleaning the front of my driveway again. Happens every fall. She will finally, after a month of telling her to do so, be taking the branches that were piled on the side and carrying them off today. This, by the way, is part of the reason why I'm in trouble. It's because I tell someone, do this thing, and then they don't. So, she is repentant. The rose bush, now that it has been freed of weeds, is starting to spring back, guys. Now, this rose bush had been pulled out of our neighbor's driveway. Not the mean one, the reasonable one. Well, it was somewhat reasonable. And she was just gonna, it was big and beautiful, and she just pulled it out of her driveway because she didn't want it no more. I mean, you want to talk throwaway mentality. People who, I mean, I'm not saying she's bad for it. I'm sure she had reasons because it was like probably scratching up her car. So we saved it. She let us have it. It was much bigger and it had gotten split in half, and this is the surviving half, and we've been nurturing it. It's actually much bigger than it was. But it getting overgrown didn't help it much.
It's very angry, very feral.
It's a very angry, feral little rose bush.
Very impressive.
You know, but at least she's not carrying on, because we fully expect crazy neighbor, now that she's blocked herself off from her own property, to carry on about what a sacrifice she had to make for the sake of not seeing the ugly yard. Speaking of ugly yard, there's something I skipped, so I've got to walk back
Oh, yeah.
because I'm trying to go in linear order. Speaking of ugly yards, she's back to letting her dogs out. She's just letting them out whenever the dog catcher's closed now. They were out today. I didn't used to care about these holes, to be honest.
Dog.
I used to be very patient about these holes that her dogs always dug. Okay? I'm not patient anymore. Getting yelled at for a quote-unquote ugly yard when the person that's yelling at you is partially responsible for the mess kind of makes you not patient. You know how like in Leave It to Beaver, well, some of you won't know Leave It to Beaver, but in things like, in shows like that, the person's like, hey, your dog in my yard. I understand now why it's a big deal and why the neighbor's mad. I completely understand. You'll get citations. You'll get people being pissed at you that can't mind their own business about your ugly yard when it's their fault. I understand now why Mr. Smith is mad that the dog scattered his garbage. I understand it completely. It is a big deal when your dog is allowed to be unruly and you are a poor pet owner and don't deserve to have a dog. I mean, you know, dogs running free in a good neighborhood, that's fine, yes, but if your dog is a nuisance as an owner, do something. I went in debt and put up a fence for my dogs. So, this gets cleaned today, or there will be loudness. Loudness. I'm tired of asking for this to be hauled away. You're I normally wouldn't say anything about stepping an inch over, but the way everybody's being, we just need to watch the lines. First, private property sign up. And we can't open it because we don't have the key on us, but there is a hinge. Which hinge is it? Which hinge is it?
Hinge.
That the person that broke in tore up?
Oh, that was this one.
Oh, he tore up the entire hasp.
Yeah.
This is taped because our house got broke into by the person that had been breaking into our house, and the neighbors told me, quote, and I'm going to quote, maybe it's the help, because that's how they see people. They tore it off so they could break into my home whenever we first had to leave, so they could basically squat in our house. Well, this means that we're going to have to go through the house. Shoot. You're going to have to see the messy house. We've been working on it, but it's a lot, and I'm running out of time because I have to go. I was going to stay a couple of days and handle things, and then a bomb was dropped on me that my brother has to go to a freaking doctor's appointment. So I got to go. I mean, I wouldn't want to be allowed to handle my own things. I'm having to weave around cars because we don't know how to give ourselves room to walk. I really am genuinely letting this bush go wild. Fuck it. This is by design. If I had the money, I probably would replace it. So, we gotta move fast. Close it before the cat gets out. Oh, a cat! Did you see that cat? That was a cat, guys. It was a cat. I got this vacuum. Do 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 do. I gotta clean that up too. Okay. Out the doors out the back, which I adore. To this area. Now, first, I'm going to show off her hard work. She has gotten my overgrown courtyard looking like it's supposed to. No, I have to do some criticism. Mm-hmm. When I first left, I had told you I had cut the area up in squares and told you just do squares once a week because that would have been enough, and you ignored it. So this was harder work than it should have been, but it looks good. Also, I have to add, in 15 years, I have talked to I don't know how many lawn people trying to hire someone to simply mow this backyard, and no one wants to. Literally, no one wants to. They'll do the front for 25, 30, 50 bucks. You saw how big the front was. But when it comes to real work, no one wants to. Now, I have a path that I had built of bricks, me and my friend and her, and she's getting it up. We're probably going to cement it and make it where it won't disappear anymore. You need to get this open. Also, another broke thing from the person that kept breaking in. Okay.
Ow.
Out we go. This is the area. Now, no trespassing sign. Move. That is not my spot. Yeah. Talk about kettle black, right? Oh, there was some trash there that had been, no, it was a child's ball. It probably actually fell in here by accident, but we freed it. Mm-hmm. And people in this area, the neighborhood, are starting to use this area as their dumping ground. And Rebecca already cleaned up the mess. There was like some garbage right there. We got it, but yeah. And then we have that. And for you guys who don't know, I don't know about other states, but in Illinois, this is called hunting purple or no trespassing purple.
It's universal.
Oh, it's universal, so it's all, yeah. So, purple, which is why my mailbox is purple. It's kind of like an eggplant emoji at them while saying no trespassing. Let's see, let me look at my list. Speaking of lists, here's something. Now, this is the original Rebecca. Is it because the cops wouldn't take it, or?
No, they do not have a policy to handle that department specifically does not.
But it's a voluntary statement thing they handed you.
I had to ask, but they do not ask for it and to fill it out, but they do not have any policies in place on what to do with them and no ability to store them. Which things like that does vary from department to
Strikes me
department.
that they should have a way to store them if they've got the freaking form. That's just me having been a purchasing secretary and trained in some things and having had worked. When you're purchasing secretary for the city, you work with the police department. So it's like, really? But yeah, this is a statement from whenever one of the neighbors was verbally hostile to her for taking pictures of the house to show me the progress. So they would not take it. Let me see. I'm checking my list. I have a list because I'm tired of like doing these and then like missing a point. Let me see. Showed sign, showed broken lot, showed back gate, showed the purple, showed your progress. Oh, let's go back in. I have mentioned many times that this is actually a firefly preserve because fireflies have disappeared to the point that, at least on my Facebook and everywhere, people were asking where did they go because they didn't show up for people this year. So you'll note that this area is not raked. That is by design. Firefly larvae live in things like that. So, you know, when they come out, that's a good time to rake, I guess. Well, that's when they're breeding. We need to find a good time to rake. So this is a firefly preserve, this area. So there's some sculpting I will do, and then there's places that I leave, but I had been sculpting it so that the wild looked nice. It's just life happened. So I'm going to show you my pawpaw tree. Dang, it got big all of a sudden. Look at that beauty. Pawpaws are endangered in some areas and some breeds are extinct now. So, and here is no different. So I have this endangered tree. It did have a mate, but the mate died. You have to have two to produce fruit. I think she planted one for it. I am not liking where she planted it, but she bought it, she planted it. I hope she checked the breed. What is that? What is that?
That is a trash can.
Why is it upside down in my backyard? What is going on with that trash can? Please tell me.
I do not know. I'm not the one who did this.
I am not.
I'm not.
Where is it? This little stick?
That little stick.
You need to put something around it or Nista will fix it and it will not be a stick anymore. It's like that one's big enough now. You can use it as protection and closure.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm out of time and I really wanted to work back here and I'm out of time and it's driving me crazy. And when I come back, maybe December, definitely January, it's going to be too cold. I'm frustrated because she's been doing all this work all by herself. I am healthier now and I can walk and I can do things and I want to do them, and it's good for you to get out and do them, and I am of the frustrated now. That I want gone. That is something my husband started years ago, and I wouldn't let him have a fire pit under a tree. I just been building. And so that's going to take at least a year because we'll have to carry it off in chunks, but that is going. And I am having my yard back. In case you want to know, I had named the backyard Narnia. Can't imagine why I would have named it Narnia. It actually grieves me that I have to consider selling because my neighbors are such horrible people. That when I got home from that trip to Arizona, I got inside as quick as I could, and I stood in my living room and I just cried. But you can see where it is, partially maintained. It's just not maintained the way I would like, but Rebecca's doing her best. She does work. So, if you have a friend as loyal as that, buy them cake. Unless they can't have chocolate cake. Then just buy a chocolate cake and eat it in front of her. And tell her, oh, how good.
I'll take anything that has red dye 40, which is pretty much everything. It's only chocolate and caffeine that I can't have.
I can't have just about everything. I think that's it. Yeah. But we were out trying to put up that mailbox, and sure enough, all of a sudden, everybody had reasons to stand outside. Yesterday, I went out to get the stuff from the trip from Arizona out of the car, and all of a sudden, the neighbors that I trust the least, suddenly, they had reasons to be on the phone, standing outside, looking our way. Like, I'm so fooled. I'm not fooled. Yeah. I hope he never makes money off of that movie script. Anyway. Yep. All right. I'm going to go and point out because I have to start loading the car. I have to leave early in the morning. Bye-bye, guys. Wait, let me double check. I think I got everything. Yep. All right.